I am now leaving Nomad's Nisa and I'm looking a little bit worse for wear just because I've got a 1 to 1.5 hour drive. So I'm going to leave my plats in and take them out in the car when we're nearing the zoo. Today I'm very, very, very excited because I'm doing something I've wanted to do since I was a child. I'm heading to Australia Zoo and then doing a transfer to Brisbane, so I've packed up. My one thing I'm really annoyed at is that I found the vouchers that I got on arrival in my passport and I haven't used them. So I've got a free drink that I haven't used and a free events access, which I haven't used, which is a shame. But anyway, I've got about 6 minutes before my pickup. I should have probably already been there because you're supposed to be there 10 minutes early. But I just needed a little bit more time to get ready. Anyway, I'm heading there now and hopefully it will be a really good day. I just realised I never gave a room tour, so here's a quick room tour. Double bed, 2 bunk beds, a little kitchen area, TV, fridge, shelves, wardrobe, sink, and then a huge shower. So it's been really nice, but yeah, huge compared to what I've been used to. And then in this store is the toilet. I was waiting at reception to see a croc van, but it turns out he was waiting on the opposite side of the road. But that's fine, he spotted me and was like, "Are you Hannah?" I was like, "Yes." I'm not actually the last one, there's someone else coming as well. So this is gonna be good, I'm so excited, and look what I've just seen. Yay! We are supposed to have at least 6 hours here, but it's going to be a little bit less, which is a shame. But it's not the end of the world. I am now getting on a different bus to go back because I'm being transferred to Brisbane instead, like I said. But I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm here. I'm actually at Australia Zoo. Already so amazing. I was really disappointed that I couldn't see the wombat at Magnetic Island, but here they've got at least 4 already, and look at how close I am just watching it all by myself. They're so cute. This place is beautiful though. Everything is so well maintained. All the enclosures are perfect. Like, you can tell it gets a lot of revenue and really looks after its animals. We're now heading to the kangaroos and the koalas. They have red kangaroos here, which I feel like I've only seen grey ones, but I don't know if that's that they're all grey and they just have different names. The animals seem so much more active here than I've ever seen anywhere else. Like, they're all moving, they're all eating. So it's weird, it's a different one. I've had to put my hat on because I feel like my head's starting to burn, but I spoke a little bit too soon. The last two animals have been asleep, but in fairness, the tigers are usually inside at Twaikarasu, which the locals eat to me, and this one, like, you could see really clearly out in the open, and then the red pandas, they're known to sleep, so that's fine. This place is so beautiful. It's very hot and there's not a whole lot of shade, but I've just got to the bottom end of the zoo, which is the African area, and you can probably hear that they play music based on the area, which I think is really cool, and it really adds that little bit of magic to it. But this enclosure is really big and they've got quite a few different animals. They've also got rhinos, and I've only ever seen rhinos a couple of times, and they've always been by themselves, whereas here they've got at least 3, if not more, and they're all together in like a little herd right here. These tutors are like so relaxed. They've been lovely to watch. I've just been stood here for like 10 minutes just watching them walk around. They're really interested in the vehicles over there, which I think they're renovating like one of the enclosures. There's 2 Komodo dragons here, but they have like 4 different types of enclosures, which I think is so impressive. They have access to them all, but yeah. I just got a shuttle bus up to the top of the zoo, and it ended up being a private shuttle, which was very nice. It's usually reserved for like guests with experiences and encounters, but because she was going back to the start anyway, I was going to go to 3 next, but I just thought I might as well do 1. And I can't get over how many lizards are just everywhere, in the paths, all over. Look at these 2 just chilling in the path. There's not very much grass left there. I want to move to a different spot. So I was just speaking to one of the volunteers at the Tasmanian Devil area. There's this one Tasmanian Devil who's just running around in circles, so I asked her if he was bored, and she said no, he's currently exhibiting like patrolling signs, which apparently is normal behaviour for when they're breeding, but it's very early in the season for him, so they've separated him from the other Tasmanian Devils at the moment, and they're keeping an eye on him, but that's very sad. She said there was 3 more Tasmanian Devils in this other enclosure, but I cannot see them. There is a cassowary over there, but in the distance, so probably won't be able to see. Sorry, the crocodiles are right there, and they're like in the enclosure cleaning. The birds of prey is the first enclosure that I've not seen an animal in, which is quite impressive considering what you normally get at some zoos. But I'm thinking they may have taken them already for the Wildlife Warrior show, but also it says on the sign that they only have 1 bird in there at a time and they alternate them throughout the day. So it might be that they're taking one back and bringing another one.
He's picking up on that. Like I said, he doesn't want to show himself until the very last minute. They can hold their breath for up to and over 7 hours. So he is completely the unseen apex, invisible in their natural habitat, water's edge. So I may go quiet here because it's been a while since I've been Casper. I'm a little bit nervous. He missed that. Alec, can you grab territorial? So they'll do it to protect their territory, but also for a little bit of tucker. Alec, do you want to give him another?
Bear with me here and see if we can't get Casper out. Again, we're waiting for him to plant his feet, pop up, put those back forward, big kick in his tail. And there's the strike. Look up at the food, big boy. Oh no, it went terrible.
Melanin, as the other crocodiles say, he's lacking a lot of the darker pigment that you would naturally see. Like I said, these guys hatch absolutely tiny. Like I said, 15 to 17 centimeters on average, and they grow to be the largest reptile living on the planet right now, which is very impressive. When they're only that small size, they're hiding out around snags, in the reeds, and they're using what we call the tail walk method to try and catch themselves some food. When they're that small, they look at little grasshoppers, little frogs, but when they're Casper's size, anything silly enough to overhang the water's edge. Could fall victim to one of these guys propelling themselves. Some videos of it, they can almost get their whole body, tail and everything straight out of the water. We'll give them one little bit of tuck up in. There we go, what an impressive animal. So,
Patterns and behaviours of animals. And he doesn't have to eat every day or every week, every month. He's quite patient. Casper in his current condition can go 6 months to a year without any sort of food, with a little piece of food. Give it up for Casper, everyone. To his water, and he knows that this is where he has the upper hand, in and around the water. Hold his breath upwards of 7 to 8 hours at a time. He can swim at the cruising speed of a dolphin. This animal has adapted.
This is just such a special moment.
I've just finished watching the Wildlife Warrior show in the Coliseum, and I don't want to say it too badly, but I wasn't very impressed, to be honest. Anyway, I'm now doing the last exhibit, which is the wetland birds. I've just done the quackers, and the echidnas. Can never pronounce that word. Someone's taught me how to pronounce that and I've been saying it right, but now I've lost it. There's now a different type of kangaroo, and then we'll see what else there is. Way too long there. I wasn't going to do the kangaroos because I feel like I've seen loads of kangaroos, but they all have babies. Like literally every single one seemed to have a baby. Most of them were quite big and their legs were like sticking out. One of them had an ear sticking out, one of them was a little bit smaller, and then one of them was quite new but it didn't have any fur. It was still pink and like scaly. It was obviously not a jelly bean size, so not like brand new, but everyone was crowding around them as you would expect. So it took a while to get a cute picture, and they kept like popping their heads in and out. But I really wanted a picture of the little one because that's the only little one I've seen, and it was so cute. Hello. So they've got the cassowaries all split up, which I learned in cairns that they don't like to be together, so they're very solitary animals. They've got at least 4 separate enclosures, and I've seen all 4, or like one each in each of the 4. But the first 2 were really hidden at the back. These 2, one of them was hidden, but I saw it under a bush. And this one's like proper come over to say hello. It's just sat here. Bye bye. Bye bye. But given how difficult the first 2 were to find, I can't imagine being able to find them in the Daintree rainforest itself. So I think it's good that they've got some in zoos to see and sanctuaries and things. And that is pretty much my time at the zoo done. I didn't see the... What animal didn't I see? The boa constrictors, because their area was undergoing maintenance, so it was closed. And then I didn't see all the birds of prey because they only had a couple of them out. And they didn't do the birds of prey show, they just did like the parrot show. So missed out on those 2 things. But other than that, I've managed to see everything. I've not read the signs like I normally would, and I haven't attended any of the wildlife talks, which is a shame. But I just wanted to make sure I saw everything, and I've got 20 minutes left before pick-up. It takes about 15 minutes to walk back to the entrance. I need the toilet before we leave, and I would like to get an ice cream if I have time. Such a good day. It's starting to cool down now, so I've taken my hair out of the messy bobble. But yeah, wish it wasn't quite as rushed, but I think if you had the whole day here and arrived at 9 and left at like 5 when it closed, you could do it all. I think I've probably been back and forth a little bit more than I would have been had I not been rushed and on a time crunch, but it's been really good regardless. I'm now heading back to the entrance. I would really like a picture with like the Steve Irwin entrance sign. I wanted one when I first arrived, when I looked a little bit less sweaty. But they were kind of rushing us through to get in, and you needed to have the guide with you because they had our tickets. So yeah, I'm nearly at the entrance. They said it took 10 minutes, but it's only taken me 5. So hopefully I have time for ice cream and a picture. I've got my picture, I've got my ice cream. They didn't have any ice cream, so I've gone for Clippo. And apparently the original flavour in Australia is lemon. I've never had lemon one, so here we go. And I'm 1 minute early to pick up, and I'm going to head there now. Pretty rough now, but at least the lighting is pretty. I had the most amazing day at Australia Zoo, and yes, my feet are hurting, yes, my shoulders are hurting, but I checked, had a really smooth drive back, walked then to my hostel, which I'm staying at Tequila Sunrise in Brisbane. It's a pod hotel, which I've never done before, but it was a bit of a last minute change because I was originally booked for Bunk Brisbane, which is one of the most popular ones. Nice because it's got a pool, but unfortunately after the incident in Melbourne I wanted bottom bunks, understandably, and they pretty much said there was absolutely no way I was getting a bottom bunk, which I thought was really upsetting, and everyone else has been quite accommodating, but yeah, they said no, but they would give me a full refund. So I got a refund and I looked at other hostels, and the first one I messaged said that they could definitely guarantee me a bottom bunk, so that was nice. It was also cheaper, and they also include breakfast and tea as well, which is obviously nice. So I walked to that hostel, I've checked in, the man was lovely. Tonight is pasta bolognese, so that seems to be one of the go-to meals at all of these group sort of settings. Hopefully they'll have the sauce not added and I'll just get the pasta and butter again, but I've seen that they've got garlic bread. So I checked in, dropped off my luggage, and I thought I either sit down and I'll probably fall asleep because I'm knackered, or I'll eat all my snacks because I'm starving, or I can go for a walk. And I was going to do this walk tomorrow night, but I thought while I'm awake, while I've got nothing to do, I will walk down to Kangaroo Point Cliffs and watch the sunset, and it's been beautiful. Let me show you. This is the city of Brisbane over here. The sun has slowly set. It was a little bit covered by the buildings, but I think that's the point. And then over here, it is still setting, and isn't that pretty? But I think I've been really reflective on this walk. I've been listening to music, which I haven't listened to music very much at all this trip. But also I think it's hit me that this is kind of the place where to start. I feel like I've been really positive this trip, which is really good, and I'm in a much better mental health and headspace than I was when I did my trip to America and Canada. And in all honesty, I've blocked out a lot of that trip, and the memories that I have come from rewatching the vlogs because I was in such a dark space. But I remember crying almost every day and every night, and it's been a little bit different this trip, in that I'm in hostels, so I'm sharing rooms with people, so I can't really cry every night anyway. I'm being more social, I'm speaking to more people, but also I'm in a much better place. I'm more positive, I'm happier in life, and I feel like I'm very much safe now to travel, if that makes sense. But it's hit me as I've come to Brisbane, and all I can think about is my ex, because this was where he lived for a year and he loved it here, and I always thought he'd be the one showing me around and taking me to places. So it's really sad that he's not here, whether that be as a friend or a partner. So I've shed a few tears on the walk down, and of course the song Wedding Dress had to come on, and it's a beautiful song, but it's one of the songs that always makes me cry because it's definitely how I feel. It's definitely how I feel. Not that I'm ever going to get married, because I only ever wanted to marry him. And so it's hard. It's definitely hard being here. But yeah, up until now, these are the first tears I've shed, I think. So yeah, that's how I am right now. I think it's just sad because he talked about this place, and we obviously talked about doing a road trip around Australia together, and he wrote me like an itinerary when we first started discussing it, and I deleted everything that I had of him in terms of like our text messages and emails and stuff. I've kept the pictures that I took, but I don't really have access to like anything that we sent between us, which I did because I thought it would make my mental health better and help my depression. But now, having recovered, I wish I could get all those back because they were positive memories for the most part. But yeah, here I am in the city that he lived for a year without him. So yeah, I'm just sat here watching the sunset. I'm gonna wait for the darkness to come, the night to arrive, and then take some pictures of the city. Most of the lights are already on, which is really pretty. So I'm glad I've done the walk tonight. and hopefully I've got the tears out of the way. There are so many nice places around here, so many places that I want to eat, but given that my hostel has food included, I think it would be stupid to eat out unless it's something that I really, really don't like. So I'm gonna have breakfast and dinner at the hostel both nights and days, and then I think I'll have lunch out, but like a snacky lunch. So well, I don't know what that'll be, but the one thing I really do want to try in Australia, well, in Australia, but in Brisbane, is the brookie cookies. Anyone who knows me knows I have a sweet tooth, and my favourite treat is a brookie. So that's a brownie and a cookie mix, for those that don't know, because my mum definitely didn't. But they have a shop called Brookie here, and they're supposed to be amazing, so I cannot wait to have those. I didn't realise how late these ferries go. So there's this ferry called City Cat, which is 50 cents per journey, and you can go all the way up the Canal River. I don't really know what this is, but I didn't realise they were still running. So yeah, that's good. I could get one back. Do I get one back? What time do they stop running is the question. It's like a 50-minute walk back from where I am, and I'm hungry and I'm a little bit shaky. But I was going to do the full cruise tomorrow from like end to end to like get an experience of the not coastline, whatever the word is, bank line. Well, I'm not sure what the word is, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I've been talking for like 5 minutes. But a bit of a chatty way to end the vlog. I'm not sure how much I'm going to record this evening because it is quite a difficult place to record, because it is like pods. So I've literally got a bed and I'm surrounded by like 100 other people. But the hostel looks amazing. Everyone's really nice. They have free laundry, which it cost me $12 to do my laundry yesterday. So if I'd have known that, I would have done it here, which is a shame. The showers are nice. Everything's included in the price. So yeah, I'm really pleased. But because of that, I'm not sure if I'll feel comfortable recording in the bed spaces.